Do you know the difference between how man and woman compete? Let's do the uncomfortable this time. Today I want to talk about that kind of competition and jealousy that is very common among us, ladies. Where is it coming from? And how it holds all of us back. This jealousy isn't loud. It does not shout. It does not really look like one. It smiles. It smiles politely. It forgets to reply to your emails. It makes you wait. It often likes to correct you with a smile and often gives you feedback just enough to confuse you. It posts the photo where somehow you look weird and she looks amazing. It's not mean, it's administrative. This isn't the jealousy of wanting what someone else has. This is the jealousy of wanting to reduce what someone else is. And if you ever walked out a meeting or a family gathering with some alpha woman involved, thinking it feels very odd, but I cannot explain why. Yeah, you met it. But we did not invent it, we inherited it. For most of history, women were allowed into public power one at a time. And it was explained as progress, quotas by law, symbolic, almost donated seats. The first woman in the room was often treated as social experiment, with sentences that sounded polite. Be grateful for the opportunity. Don't be too much. You are here representing all women. You are not like the others. We weren't taught to cooperate. We were taught to wait for our turn. One woman at a time, one exception, one proof that the system works. Marie Wollstonecraft, the world's first feminist, wrote back in the 18th century that women are constantly trained to seek for approval instead of developing our minds. And she was right. We weren't trained to expand. We were trained to appreciate the chance to sit at that table. Now, when someone believes that success, visibility, admiration, or authority are limitless, they compete forward. They build, they learn, they sharpen their skills, and they let the results speak. Forward competition is exactly how men compete. It creates movement. But when someone believes that there is quota on everything, one seat literally and hypothetically, they don't compete forward. They compete sideways. And this sideways competition is sneaky because it's not about being better. It's about controlling the environment. Sideways competition doesn't say, I will outgrow you. It says, I will manage how you are seen. That's why it shows up as overcorrecting, passively dismissing, strategically silencing, and curating your visibility. Now imagine a room with 10 chairs. 9 are occupied by men, and 1 is for the woman. She is not a professional anymore. She becomes the woman. Now, when another woman manages to get in that room, the first woman does not think, what does she bring? She rather thinks, why do they need 2 of us? And if she is seen, will I disappear? Her seat feels much safer if there is no other woman next to her. Not because she wouldn't like women, but because her own presence always felt conditional. Man-made systems often reward women who respect hierarchy, not sisterhood. If men's clubs are often seen as strong, world-changing, women's, tease and gossips. Professionally successful men are those who hustle, work late hours, and hunt their piece of cake strategically. Women, something like this new Kardashian series shows. You don't have to watch it, believe me. But jokes aside, it's a very good example how empowerment performance replaces real empowerment. Because all women lawyers who studied for more than 10 years to have whatever they have are dying to be portrayed in tight clothes, sipping champagne with their colleagues in the middle of the day. Visibility has always been a form of currency. Manipulating who gets photographed and how, who gets credited, and who will be framed as the authority, that all is called brand anxiety. Brand anxiety happens when identity is built on position, not real impact. So the room stops being a place of growth and turns into a stage. This kind of competition happens everywhere, not just offices or high-level rooms. It happens at family dinners or even between friends. This kind of competition does not only affect the woman that is directed at, it changes the whole room. The atmosphere tightens, creativity contracts. Other younger woman gets the message very fast that visibility comes with a punishment. So in the future, they will think twice if it's worth it. Now, if it's so common and so rooted into us, what can we do to protect ourselves? When facing a jealous and sideways competitive woman, first understand what your nervous system wants to do by default and pause it. When someone subtly diminishes you, your body reacts before your brain does. That's not weakness, that's biology. You might feel the urge to explain yourself, prove you are competent, win them over, or shrink to keep the peace. Pause. Making peace with someone's insecurities by destabilizing yourself isn't peace. It's self-neglection. Don't do that. My second advice, don't argue with someone who is so focused to protect their role or their title. These women quite often like to use phrases like, "We've always done it this way." And at home or in the family gatherings, they would like to say, "Well, in this family, trying to convince someone who is so focused on their role or the hierarchy is very similar like negotiating with a smoke alarm that goes off by mistake. It's scary because it's loud, not because there is a fire." So instead of arguing with them, just remove the authority and go with the phrases like, "Oh, interesting. Thank you for explaining. I'll think about it." Third, remember, sideways competition thrives on reaction. So the best way to react is by staying boring. Short answers, neutral tone, consistent behavior. Nothing confuses a sideways competitor more than somebody who doesn't play. Fourth, don't even think adjusting yourself to someone's insecurities. Jealous people simply see you through their unmet needs. The problem with you can simply be that you are younger, more beautiful, more communicative, you have a family and you are taking care of yourself while they are sitting and holding their position. No amount of explaining can ever fix this. And the fifth, we don't speak about that much, but revise your idealized world. A lot of pain of ours comes because sometimes we live in the fantasy about the supportive colleague, fair boss, the warm mother-in-law, sisterly bond. Those things exist, but it might take a lifetime until you will find the place. Understanding that not all environments are perfect does not mean giving up. It means accepting what is, so you can start searching for or building better. And finally, be how you wish others would. Credit other women, compliment them, share your knowledge with them. Because the most glitching thing you can do to those who are jealous is standing for your ideas, not the crown on your head. And don't get spooked. This kind of jealousy isn't wicked. It's just unfinished work. And we don't really need to wait for permission from man, from law, from somewhere else to finish it. There is room for everyone. And if there isn't, we can make it. Thank you for watching this episode. If that also speaks to you, please don't forget to hit the subscribe and share your thoughts in the comments. See you next week.